Case 1. The expressionless.
You are a nurse on the night shift. It's quiet, the kind of quiet that makes hospitals feel wrong after midnight. Then she walks in, white dress, no expressions, no blinking. Her skin looks like she's trying to be a human and failing. Staff describe her smile as frozen in place, fixed like it was stitched there. You go to help her, you never get the chance. By morning, 2 doctors are gone, and so is she. That image, the hollow face, the white dress, became one of the most shared photographs in early internet history. Millions believed it. Here's what makes this worse. Their brain cannot ignore it. Scientists call it the uncanny valley. You are neurologically wired to treat anything almost human as a maximum threat. Here's the truth. That photograph was taken in 1961. The woman in the image is a wax-training mannequin used to teach nursing students. It appeared in an unremarkable medical catalog. Someone found it decades later, rewrote the caption, and uploaded it to a horror forum in 2009. Within weeks, shared hundreds of thousands of times as fact. The most frightening thing about the expressionless isn't the image, it's how fast people believe it.
Case 2. Selen Delgado Lopez.
You are scrolling Facebook, a missing person poster stops you cold. The name Selen Delgado Lopez. The face familiar, too familiar. You're certain you've seen her before. Maybe a friend of a friend, maybe someone from school. Then the notification comes. Facebook is suggesting her as someone you may know. Thousands of people reported the same thing. A ghost who somehow knew them personally. Selen Delgado Lopez never existed. The face is a digital composite, an algorithmic average of common facial features built as a placeholder in a missing person template, never meant to represent anyone real. She surfaced in recommendations because of a quirk in Facebook's private settings. Certain open configuration accounts appeared in suggesting algorithms for nearly everyone, universal enough to seem familiar, specific enough to feel personal. She was everywhere. She was no one.
Case 3. Smile Dog.
You receive a file, one image, a friend sent it with no explanation. Just don't open it alone. You open it, a husky, but its mouth is stretching into something no animal jaw could produce. Human teeth, too many of them. A hand in the background that doesn't belong to anyone visible. And behind it all, a deep breath that makes the whole image feel light from inside around. The rules were simple. Send it to someone else or go insane. The legend claimed it had already driven people to take their own lives. It was Photoshop, distortion filters, layered human teeth, color graded in red. But the creator stumbled onto something real. The dog's green short circuits the part of your brain that reads social cues. It registers as a predator wearing a friendly face. Smile Dog became foundation in internet horror, not because the curse was real, because the fear was.
The internet still works exactly like this today. One creepy clip, a few comments saying don't watch this alone, and boom, millions of people are terrified. We are way easier to manipulate than we think. But alright, let's keep going. Case 4. Goddess Bunny.
You find the video in a thread with no title, no description, just a link and one reply. I can't sleep anymore. You press play. A painfully thin figure moving in jerk, wrong-angled motions, dancing with an umbrella to music pitched and warped into something unrecognizable. Every moment blends slightly off, too deliberate, too asymmetric, defying how bodies work. Forums labeled it satanic, a mind control experiment, evidence of something deeply wrong with the world. The person in that video was a performance artist who spent decades building a career despite living with severe polio since childhood. The footage came from a documentary about her life. Someone stripped the contest, degraded the audio and uploaded it as accursed content. The cruelty was not in the video, the cruelty was in what was done to it.
Case 5. Mereana Mordegard Glesgorv.
You heard about the video, 2 minutes long, a man staring directly into the camera, red background, eyes that seem to vibrate. The claim, anyone who watches the full version will gouge onto their own eyes. You search for it, you can't find the full version. Only clips, only rumors. The inability to find it, that's what makes it worse. The man in the image was a marketing employee. Someone lifted his headshot, drenched it in red, and built an entire mythology around his face. He found out years later. He thought it was hilarious. The full video never existed. Only the idea did. And the idea was enough to make people afraid to look.
Case 6. Lowy Lane and the Figure in the Yard.
You were watching a vlog, makeup tutorial, nothing unusual. Then someone in the comment writes, pause at 4:32 behind the tree. You pause. A pale, elongated shape, standing very still, watching. Within hours, thousands are convinced that the creator is being stalked by something inhuman. The video gets shares across every horror forum online. What they were seeing was Pareidolia, the brain's compulsion to find faces and figures in random visual noise. Shadows, light artifacts, the edge of a fence post. Our minds complete the pattern whether we want them to or not. Some creators have quietly learned to exploit this, leaving ambiguous elements in frame to drive engagement. The monster was always the viewer's own brain, doing exactly what it was built to do.
Case 6. Lowy Lane and the figure in the yard.
You read the description and your stomach drops. A video, grainy footage of a basement, strange liquids, figures at the edge of the frame. Anyone who watches it reportedly suffers permanent nightmares. One user claims they watched it 30 seconds and never recovered. You try to find it, you can't. That's the point. The original never existed. Clips circulating under that name came from a Czech art film released in 2000, spliced with fragments from experimental shorts. The Grifter's power came entirely from its own absence. A video you couldn't find, couldn't verify, and couldn't stop thinking about. The internet invented a monster from nothing, and the nothing was scarier than anything real could have been.
Case 8. Dining room or there is nothing.
You press play. A woman sits at a dinner table. She leans forward slowly. Her movement is wrong. Too smooth, too deliberate, define the way bodies work. She opens her mouth. The words don't form sentences. You watch it twice. You still can't tell what's wrong with it. People reported watching it once and never sleeping properly again. The director filmed the entire scene in reverse, then played the footage backwards. What looks like leaning forward is actually leaning back. What sounds like gibberish is English, spoken normally, running the wrong way. Once you know this, you can't almost reverse engineer what she's saying, but your nervous system doesn't get the memo. The wrongness persists because your brain processes movement before logic, and the movement never stops being wrong.
Case 9. Robert the Doll.
You visit the museum on vacation. Someone in your group points to a glass case in the corner. Inside, a cloth doll, sailor suit, small stuffed lion. His face has deteriorated over decades into something your brain immediately rejects. The guy tells you, ask permission before you photograph him, out loud, in his presence. You laugh. You take the photo without asking. 3 weeks later, you send a letter of apology, just like dozens of others the museum receives every year. The legend claims he moved it on his own, left it in the night, rearranged furniture. The reality, natural material degradation combined with glass eyes that catch light unpredictably produces a face that triggers every threat alarm your nervous system has. The doll cannot move, but it doesn't have to.
Case 10. Hi Walter.
You click a link someone posted with no contest. A man in glasses grinning at the camera. Cheerful, he mentions his friend Walter. He mentions his new girlfriend. Then he opens the door. You close the tab immediately. The video traveled the internet for years as evidence of an actual crime, shared in dark corners as something found, something documented, something real. It is a comedy sketch. The woman behind the door was a friend who agreed to participate. The joke was dark, deliberately staged to look real, then stripped of all context before being reshared. No crime occurred, but the reputation survived for over a decade, which raises the final question. How many of the things you've been afraid of, online, in your memory, in the stories passed to you secondhand, were ever real to begin with? And does it matter if the fear was? The internet didn't invent fear, it just gave it a faster way to travel. A wax mannequin becomes a murderer. A composite face becomes a ghost. A photoshopped dog becomes a curse. The uncanny valley is not a glitch, it is a feature. We just never expect it to be weaponized by image boards. Subscribe, because next time, we go deeper.
And honestly, I think that's the creepiest part about all of this. Most of these stories were fake. Some weren't even remotely real, but people still lost sleep over them. Which kinda proves the internet doesn't need monsters to scare us anymore. Just the right story. Anyway, if you want more internet mysteries like this, subscribe. We're definitely going deeper next time. See you.